Hey everyone, we are starting our final leg of the NHL playoffs. Sadly, I have lost,
Yep.
and I figured out what I'm gonna do. If LA wins the series, I will give you unlimited bragging rights until next year
All right.
with
all
the
right,
2 cases of beer.
All right. Fair enough. All right. That sounds good to me. Well, I did not pick the Kings to win the cup, but I did pick them to be here in the Stanley Cup final, so I did get part of it right. I thought the Bruins would be here as well, and they are not. The Rangers ended up sneaking through to the East final and defeating the Canadiens, of course. And now they're here in the Stanley Cup final. And it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to this series. I hope it's not going to be a huge walkover. I picked the Kings in 6 for this series, just for the sake of picking people. And yeah, so it'll be an interesting series. Who do you think is going to take this series, Ryan?
I can see maybe LA, but I can see it taking the full 7 games because LA hasn't not.
Well, yeah, they have
They've
played the maximum number of games up to this point in the playoffs. To put it in perspective, the LA Kings, the last time they went to the Stanley Cup final, they only played 14 games in order to. No, they played 14 games in order to get to the Stanley Cup final the last time they were here.
Jeez.
So I don't think that's right, actually. I saw that on.
No, it could be.
It could be right. I saw it on.
Because I guess there's
I saw it on
5
a board.
series, isn't there? No,
Yeah.
There's 5 series.
Oh no, that is right because it went 5. They defeated the Canucks in 5, then they swept somebody, and then they
9.
Beat the Coyotes in 5 to get to the final.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is right. And then they went on to win the first 3 games of the Stanley Cup Final series against the New Jersey Devils, and they ended up winning that one 6. However, let's put it in perspective. They've already played 1 more game this entire playoff than the entire Stanley Cup run in 2012, where they played only 20.
Yeah.
So they're pretty spent, but however, they have not looked like anybody's injured or anybody's really banged up. The guys that have been injured have sat out. So
Yeah. And interesting with Gary Bettman there, eh?
Mhm.
With Carcillo.
Yeah,
he reduced
Dan
suspension.
Carcillo. He can be potentially back by Game 4, I believe it is.
I think so, yeah.
So he will play. Well,
He might
at
play,
least part of.
on.
Yeah, he'll be a part of the equation by Game 4. So if the series is still, if it's still fairly close, a 2-1 or series, then Dan Carcillo could be in the conversation for the lineup for the Rangers. So we'll see how this goes. We're just getting ready to underway. The players are coming out on the ice, so there'll be I'll say probably another 5 to 7 minutes before the puck actually drops.
Do we want to do our first beer review?
Let's maybe see if we can get a quick one out of the way before puck drop.
All right, so the first one we're going to do, it's a craft beer. It is a seasonal. It's a Lazy Mutt. It's a seasonal shandy. It is basically a lemonade beer, and it says, "What's better than lemonade in the summer? Beer." So we took our greatest wheat ale with natural citrus notes and added some fresh lemons to make a great thirst-quenching shandy. It's 5%, 650 milliliters. It has natural lemon. And then there's a bunch of numbers on here that we have absolutely no idea what they are. OG is 12, RDF 62.3, color is 4.29, and IBU is 7. And it's brewed at the Rhinelander Brewing Company in Monroe, Wisconsin. So, without further ado, we will crack it. And I'll drop it. Anything on the... No. Ooh.
A rusted bottle cap. That's okay.
See what the color is. Ooh. This smells like Bud Light Lime.
A little bit.
That's kind of what I thought of when I saw this.
It does smell a little bit like that. So, okay. Well, we'll see how this first one of our beer reviews goes. Cheers.
Cheers.
Goaltender tonight for the Rangers. Star Spangled Banner is next with a Canadian flavor. The Canadian Tenors are here to sing it.
It's not a strong lemonade taste as I was expecting.
I was expecting it to be a bit stronger lemonade, but you know what?
I guess I was thinking sweeter lemonade taste. This is a little bit tart.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no problem.
We're just taking our hats off as they do the national anthem.
Do you want to fill me up?
Yeah, I'll fill you up. I like it. I like the fact that it's still not as it's not as strong as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Which means it's actually more beer than I was expecting this to be one of those, like those vodka aids.
Yeah,
it was almost
just
like an iced tea almost.
Yeah.
Or a half and half or some sort. But no, I think it's actually a pretty decent beer. I was a little concerned at the beginning. Has a funky aftertaste a little bit, but
yeah, that reminds me of is almost lemon rinds.
Yeah, you're right. Could be that.
Because it's all natural lemon, so it could just be part of.
It could be. Yeah, I think I'll give this a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I could see that.
3.5 bottle caps out of 5. What is he doing? Is Willie Mitchell sleeping?
I was gonna say he looks like he's napping.
Willie Mitchell was just shown on the big screen, and he's pretty much falling asleep.
Yeah.
So down to 5 defensemen already.
Maybe New York will have a chance.
So I don't know. It almost looked like he had a strain in his neck or something.
Yeah, I think he could have been having something like that.
What do you think, though? The NHL could not have asked for a better Stanley Cup matchup. You have New York, the Big Apple, against Hollywood and LA, the two biggest markets in the United States. Could not have asked for anything better.
Well, you could have asked for all of Canada. But...
Well, for us, yeah, that would have been awesome. But this is going to be a very interesting series, and I'm sure Gary Bettman is in his jacuzzi somewhere, just having a heyday with this. Cause,
yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna if this series goes 7, it will make some big dollars.
It's gonna make big bucks regardless.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, he's getting old.
Yep. As they're showing Wayne Gretzky, he's gonna drop the puck.
I'd laugh for when they went to go do that. As he dropped, he caught it and just walked away. Or just toss it over his shoulder. Oh, where'd it go?
Oh, wow. Yeah. No hard feelings as Richards skates off after shaking Wayne Gretzky's hand. Didn't want anything to do with Dustin Brown until after the series is done in the handshake line.
Yeah. The King.
Yeah, Lundqvist has been very, very good. He's had a couple of rough games,
but really, other than those couple of rough games,
he has been able to bounce back, which is huge for him. And the same with Jonathan Quick. He has not been a very strong goaltender. He was able to beat Corey Crawford, but Crawford was not having a great series himself.
Yeah.
So that could be the benefit. That could be the difference in this series. If New York ends up winning it, it'll be because King Henrik does what he does best.
Yeah. And if Quick isn't going to play as good as he has been or is made up to, then, he still has his big defensemen like Muzzin and Doughty that are just going to stand in front of him and be goalies for him.
Well, there's the puck drop underway here. Game 1, Stanley Cup Final.
The more I drink this, the more it grows on me, actually.
Yeah? I agree with you. I think the first time I was just really expecting that, big, thick lemonade.
Yeah.
But it is actually very, subtle one, very nice. Not overwhelming at all.
Yeah. And that's the thing, I don't like it where you get like these citrus beers and it completely takes away the flavor of the beer and all you get is citrus.
Yeah. See, I don't mind those beers, but to me they're not beers. They're just it's another
Yeah.
So this was a very good beer.
Yeah, and if you didn't know, Jack Daniels has new coolers out, or a cooler out.
Oh, is it? Oh, big chance in front. A New York Nash spins and fires and misses.
But yeah, it's a watermelon flavored Jack Daniels.
Interesting.
It's a sneaky drink.
Mm.
It tastes 100% like punch.
Interesting.
Like, it'd be so easy to eat.
Oh, and I should have told you, I had tasted a beer a couple weekends ago. It was basically, I have it written down, but it's basically like a maple beer.
Ooh.
And it tastes pretty much like maple syrup.
Nice.
It is very good. I thought it, but you can only handle so many of it.
Yeah, because it's the sweetness.
It is the sweetness, but man, you could wake up, get your pancakes, waffles, whatever, pour this thing on it, and it is absolutely fantastic.
I should have sent that to Epic Mealtime and
Yeah.
made that in their
Pretty much.
breakfast. Their
There's Carter
Who's
shot a
breakfast?
nice save, Lundqvist. Wow.
what a king.
Pretty even first 2.5 minutes.
Oof.
Both teams kind of trading chances at the moment. Oh, and a big turnover.
Oh!
What a great save by Jonathan Quick. Awful turnover by Kyle Clifford right in front of his own net to Carl Hagelund. But Quick was well out and was able to make
Quick
the
was
save.
quick.
Yeah. Yeah, Kings look a little unsettled in their own building. I think everybody's just wants to get going and wants to
get going, and I think they're still
Muzzin. He kept the puck in, but he
maybe haven't fully recovered from their last series.
Yeah. Well, they played on Sunday. They've had a couple days rest. They had media day yesterday, but
and then yeah, if you want to leave just a little bit in each bottle, my dad would like to try.
oh, okay.
If that's cool.
Yep.
Sweet. And I guess too, if we always want to do a break with these, I have 4 more we can do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Actually 5. I lied.
All right.
And yeah, the one thing I thought was, or I finally heard on the radio, with liquor store here in town, they said if we don't have it, let us know and we'll order it in.
This is what, the Sobeys?
Jace.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I didn't know. I heard that on the radio.
Bring back the bacon beer.
I know.
Bring that back.
And like I've been keeping my eye open for it.
I just want to try it. I just want to try it.
No, that's the thing. I don't know if they ordered it, if they'd have to get a full case. But if they did,
who cares? We'd buy it all.
we probably would.
We would. Pretty nice pace to this game. 4.5, nearly 4.5 minutes gone, and there has not been a whistle.
Please, sir, may I have some more?
Oh yes. I'm gonna pour and watch the game at the same time.
Yeah, it's.
I'll have one more sip of this, and then it should be good. Very nice pace to this game. If this is what the entire series is going to be like, I like it already.
Yeah.
Well, what was it? Chicago and LA, they spent... And there's the first whistle 5 minutes in. But like I was saying, LA and Chicago, they had a period. The second period of one of their games was 27 minutes of, not even 27 minutes of actual time. They had just continuous action.
Wow.
Throughout the entire game.
characteristic. LA. You look at the San Jose series. They averaged 47 hits. Anaheim series 40.
And that's the thing. I wouldn't want to
Chicago series.
play against either team just for the hits that they do.
Yeah. Well, it is known that the West, especially in the Pacific Division, has been a lot tougher and a lot, big bodies in front. There's a chance for Muzzin. Oh, and what a good save by Lundqvist through traffic.
Oof.
But yeah, with LA and San Jose and Anaheim, those are three big teams that just love to body check. Which like my dad, when we watched the first round of the playoffs and you saw LA and San Jose or Anaheim and Dallas, you figured out why the Oilers weren't there. Like they would get killed.
Yeah.
In playoff hockey right now, they would just get killed. So.
And two, even though yes, it's back in their home barn, I think this series is going to be hard on LA because they played San Jose, Anaheim, and Chicago, which is other than Chicago, they're all.
Well, yeah, the first two series they basically drove across town.
Yeah.
Really, So their travel schedule has definitely been very nice to them. But you know what? I think that is actually going to help them in this series because
they've done less traveling.
Because I think if you put LA and New York side by side on just a regular day, LA I think takes it no matter what.
Yeah.
So I think that evens out, the fact that LA's played 21 games.
Yeah.
So they played 21, but they've stayed in their own state for 17 out of the 21 games.
Yeah.
That is pretty good. And as much as the East Coast doesn't travel as much, I do think that even because I think LA is a greater team or a better team than the New York Rangers, I think that evens out the fact that LA has played more games or is maybe a bit tired from playing tougher opponents, let's say.
Yeah.
Because, not to say that New York didn't play tough opponents. They beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's a pretty good team. And same with the Canadiens had a good run as well, and they were fortunate enough that Carey Price got injured, and they weren't able to really see the Montreal Canadiens were hoping to see,
And even though, I think people do underestimate because Tokarski had, from what I saw, he had the same skill Carey Price had, but just because he wasn't Carey Price, it let the team down a little bit. Because there's Carey Price and Tokarski who have the same skill, and if you have this A goalie, or this double A goalie, who can play phenomenal, where if you have this underdog goalie who you just kind of started to see come up and play, you're like, well...
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
It's not a regular goalie.
No, I think Tokarski's a lot smaller.
Yeah.
You watch him and he seems a lot smaller, but you know what? He did fine. He absolutely did fine. He lost Game 6 1-0. If you give up one goal and everybody starts crapping on you, then you're on the wrong team.
Yeah.
You need a team that scores goals. Montreal just wasn't able to get anything past Henrik Lundqvist.
Yeah.
So if there is somebody who steals the Stanley Cup, it'll be King Henrik.
Yeah.
But
do we want to do 2 beers a period?
Sure, we can do that.
Because then we'll just do.
That'll be about roughly the right number of times. So okay. So we're gonna do another lazy mutt. All the 4 that we're trying at the start are lazy mutts. The first one was the lemony fresh one, or whatever they called it. And this one is the authentic India Pale Ale, or authentic IPA. It's a 5.5%, 40 IBU, whatever that means. We have to look it up.
Yeah.
Taste profile, it says it's a light amber to copper in color. This session India Pale Ale has a homey aroma and flavor with ample maltiness. It also gives you food pairings that it would go good with.
Ooh, that's the actual first I've seen on a beer.
Yeah, it goes good with cheese. 2 cheeses that I have no idea how you pronounce either of them.
Let's see.
Gorgonzola.
Oh.
Gorgonzola and Cambozola.
Gorgonzola.
Gorgonzola, okay.
And
Cambozola?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. It goes good with curries or tikka masala, carrot cake. Oh, that's kind of odd. And creme brulee. So there you go. This has been brewed and bottled with the Minhwa Calgary. Yep, malted at the Canada Malting Plant in Calgary, Alberta. So,
That's interesting because that other one was from.
It was in BC, wasn't it?
That was in Wisconsin.
Oh, Wisconsin. Oh yeah. Oh, big chance for Rick Nash.
Lazy.
Not able to convert. So, I'll crack this open.
Alrighty.
Actually, this one doesn't have the numbers on it, but the other one did.
Well, it had one of the numbers.
It had a IBU.
Ooh. This doesn't look like the same website.
It is Lazy Mutt.
Yeah, but Monroe, Wisconsin, yeah. But this is just for the farmhouse.
Go.
230 pounds. He's like 180 pounds.
Just type in IBU and see what that stands for.
Yeah.
Still 0-0.
IBU.
7.5 minutes gone in the first period.
So it is a beer measurement,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the international bittering units.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to say the more numbers, the more bitter.
I would think so, yeah.
Because what was the last one?
4.6.
No, IBU was 7.
Oh.
Okay, so that wasn't bitter. This has an IBU of 40. So it could be really bitter. I didn't think that would be.
Alrighty.
But we will see. We shall see.
Yeah. What? Do you want to just take a look at this? I'll grab it.
Eric Stepan, that football mask protecting his jaw. Plays the puck in behind the net. The referee got it away. Nashstrom gets the puck to the blue line.
I'm assuming maybe the. Ooh. So the coloring scales is just depending on the.
Yeah. Oh, well, I guess I can pour this for you and see it color.
RDF. Men were learning a lot today. RDF.
It's a pretty good color to it. It is a coppery color, you know?
Yeah.
Just very, just like what it says, light amber to copper.
I think.
Smells like something.
I don't know if it'll smell different from here.
It does smell a little different. Oh, I have not even had one.
RDF, as we expressed in our first beer,
Yep.
is the real degree of fermentation. Is an expression for the fraction of extract originally present in cold wort.
Okay, so the RDF was 62.3.
Let's.
So I just don't I just want to know what the kind of scales are.
I will. Oh, that's
Scandinavian beer calculator.
that's not what we want. Let's see this one. So the higher the number, the more enzyme it has. So what number is that?
This one is a 62.3.
Well, that's not on this scale.
It is.
No, that's the lowest number it had was 73.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that one wasn't not many enzymes, I guess.
No.
So we have a frame of reference.
One day we should just, even though you probably know a lot more than I do, just Google. Well, even though I have Wikipedia beer, just to like read up on it, and it's actually really interesting the process.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay. Well, let's try the Lazy Mutt Authentic IPA India Pale Ale.
Mm.
Alright, we'll choose to that.
Cheers. That is bitter.
Definitely bitter.
Ooh.
Ooh, you felt that too, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Big save by
How?
Jonathan Quick. Delayed penalty call on the play in New York, was able to pass it around and make a nice play. And Daryl Sutter, unhappy. Yeah, this one's pretty bitter. Yeah. Yeah, it's overall bitter.
But I don't.
But you know what? It's not like so bitter that you can't drink it.
Yeah.
You know, like some of the beers we've had on this show, it's been like, oh, I don't want to have another sip of this.
Yeah. But
this one I can deal with. So Alex Martinez went to the box. So New York's gonna go on a power play.
Yes. Thank you for telling me the formula to figure out the RDF. But so standard lagers have 65 to 70. Low calorie or dry beers have 70 to 85. And mild or sweet ales have a 50 to 60.
Okay. There we go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, this one doesn't have any of the other numbers on it, but we do know that it is 40 IBU, and it is bitter.
Yeah.
It is very bitter. Like that one was a 7. This is a 40.
You can definitely tell the difference. Yeah. And I don't know if it's better, because I took a little bit in my mouth and I just switched it around. And just cut it
yeah,
in my
you're
mouth.
right. I kind of did that too. It's okay. Well, I'll give this a 2 just because it's not.
It's not completely awful.
Yeah, like it's not my favorite, and yet it is still okay.
Yeah.
Somehow, I was surprised actually that it's not like really strong. Maybe it's just because it's not. The aftertaste isn't as strong. If it was stronger, then it wouldn't be very good.
Yeah. Some fans wanting to know what we're doing, and I'm just letting them know. And it's one of my buddies, and he's curious about what the Lazy Mutt beers are. IPA, Hever, Weissen, close enough, even though it's spelled with an F, and is that Belgian White?
Yeah. The Kings are doing a nice job with this penalty kill. Got 5 seconds left on it. Looks like they're going to get out of it unscathed.
Oof. Bad pass. Unlucky bounce.
Nice play.
But did you hear about one of the rules that they want to make for next year? They want to allow you to be able to kick in the puck.
Kick the puck in, yeah.
That's stupid. This isn't soccer.
Yeah, I know. The problem is they want to get a rule down, something in stone that makes either they make all goals off the foot count or none of them count.
Well, if I were them, I'd make it none.
Yeah, but
because it's a stick game.
Okay, fine, but then what happens if he's driving to the net like Ryan Smith?
You have to always bring up Ryan's.
Oh no, but like that's
because you know where my heart is.
Yeah, well, exactly. So if you're not gonna have goals go off your skate, might as well say the stick is the only part of the body that can actually score a goal. And then all of a sudden, Ryan Smith's goal total goes down.
He was grandfather. That's okay.
Yeah, okay, fine, but still, like I don't mind it. I'm not a huge fan of like kicking goals in. I don't think it's not gonna become a league where all of a sudden you get close to that and you just kick it in. I don't think that's gonna happen. Yeah. It could happen, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
It shouldn't, and if it does, I might change sports.
Well.
But you didn't hear that from me.
Yeah.
What? clear hoses you can drink from. I like the green ones. And not the water, the hoses.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to drink the green water.
I don't think you're not even supposed to drink from the green hoses.
No.
And the water tastes so good.
Mm-hmm. If you haven't noticed, probably noticed my outfit and attire today.
Oh, and mine was on backwards.
Yeah, and his was on backwards. So we are very happy that the Toronto Blue Jays are actually starting to win some games.
Yeah.
And, they have a 4.5 game lead coming today on first place in the AL East. Baltimore is now
Knock
second.
on wood, it stays.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. They still have June, July, August, and September to get through before they actually are even thinking about bringing the playoffs back. But it's a definite nice start, and it's a nice change of pace from what last year brought us, which was a lot of disappointment because we were all hoping, oh, this is the team that's going to win the World Series, and now we're getting a glimpse of what this team can actually be.
Yeah,
and nice.
And I don't want to jinx it or anything, but weren't they kind of like this at the start of last year too, where they were winning?
Last year they had a very bad start.
Oh, I thought they had a decent one.
No, they had a bad start last year.
Oh.
They were doing okay, but then Reyes got really hurt, and then that kind of set them down for a loop. Even though Kawasaki did really good, but
Kawasaki was amazing.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think Reyes adds a different type of element too.
Yeah.
Like he's playing a lot better this year, and he's making some plays that not too many people on the ball diamond can make. So it's a good sign.
That's oof.
Right in front. I would say New York has definitely established good pressure in the early going here.
Yeah.
LA is looking like they're back on their heels a little bit.
I still have to laugh. Is that Stepan who got the elbow or shoulder to the jaw? Missed one game due to surgery and is already back.
Broken jaw, and he's still playing, There's that one. It went right through the crease.
Quick's lucky, got it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to a few people, and even though they said, yes, it's different, but regardless, I think if you kick in a puck in your own net right now, or in someone else's net, in the opposing player's net, that's no goal. So technically, you'd think that the rule would stand that if you kick the puck in your net, it wouldn't count either. By the way the rule goes, it should. It should.
Oh, Carter with a nice spinorama try. But Lundqvist was able to slide over and keep it out.
Right? Just by the way the rule goes, it should not count. But since you did put it in your own net.
Well, did you know that in soccer, if you I can't remember what it is. If you take a goal kick and somehow the ball ends up in your own net, it's not a goal.
Oh,
it's a corner kick.
Really? Yeah. For you or for them?
Yeah. But there are some rules that actually protect against that, because the idea of the goal kick is that you have an advantage. But if somehow the ball goes in your own net without somebody else touching it, then it's not to your advantage. So they just give the other team a corner kick.
Huh.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But we are still watching. Still no goals.
16 hits to 5 for LA.
LA has definitely controlled the hit department, but you know what that means? Usually that means the Rangers have been controlling most of the play, and that has been true up to this point.
Yeah. And for those hits, you'd have to sacrifice the...
Well, here's a chance. Pouliot on a breakaway, and on quick, scores!
Goal!
Benoit Pouliot has really had an outcoming party in these playoffs. Well, Drew Doughty gave away the puck right at the blue line, and then whoever his D partner was blew a tire and was waiting for AMA to pick him up. Oh,
saved it. No worries.
I don't really know what the other D-man was doing. Well, that's a perfect shot just above the blocker. For a left-hand shot, perfect.
Quick didn't even move. Like, he reacted and started to slide, but it's not like he had any upper body movement.
So the Rangers draw first blood in the Stanley Cup final, so it's good to know that they're going to be here for this series.
Yeah, and as I was saying before,
putting on the pressure
as this breakaway started, with LA hitting as much as they are so early, they are sacrificing some playtime because they're focusing on doing the hitting instead of taking the pucks away.
Well, I think, like any good team, I don't know if LA is one of those teams that actually focuses on hitting you, but they make sure that if the puck is around you, they want to get it by, throwing a body check or two. And it wears down the other opponent. Like, even though Chicago came back to make it 3-1 last series, they just kind of warmed down and were able to get them to make a few mistakes, and they were able to capitalize on them.
Yeah.
But now it's if you're the Rangers, you could probably say one is enough. But now Zuccarello is going to go to the box after kind of grabbed him.
I thought that was LA for the trip.
No, I think Zuccarello got the arm around her. Yeah, right there, reached in, grabbed.
But I guess
grabbed Tanner Pearson. LA's going to go to the power play. Hopefully they can.
The way Pearson got up, it looked like he almost had his skate hooked. But gosh dang commercials. Well, I guess you know what that means. Beer time.
I am going to be glad when I don't have to drink this anymore.
Yeah.
It isn't awful, but if somebody threw me a beer and I was like, "Here, have a beer," I would be able to deal with it.
Yeah. It's not, and I don't know if you saw, but someone commented on one of my videos. I think they said either Drummond or Roughneck was one of their favorite beers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they said they loved the taste. So I said I'd mail them mine. Just kidding.
Well, this was a cool commercial because it was like showing Tim Hortons way back in the day.
Yeah,
back
started.
Yeah, and all the
funny commercial.
This is the creepy room. Hey, Captain Obvious. ReviewsHotels.com. They're genuine guest reviews. They're written by guests who have genuinely stayed there, instead of people who lie on the internet.
Look, a finger.
That's unsettling. All the time. Which I would not.
I like the very end of the first commercial they did. It's like, all those words are spelled correctly.
Yep.
All right, so. Jake Muzzin blew a tire. Yeah, look at this. Like, I don't know what happened.
Boom, boom.
Just tripped over the red line, and Benoit Pouliot, originally drafted by the Minnesota Wild, has not really had too much. It's a high round draft pick.
Yeah.
But has not been able to do very well. And there's another chance. Dan Boyle had a shorthanded opportunity. Brian Boyle. I'm thinking of different Boyles here.
There's too many Boyles.
Two of them. One too many.
Yeah.
Now the Rangers are going again. Here's Hagelin in on a loan. Saving it, it's in. Wow. Carl Hagelin, what an effort. That puck went off.
Wow.
It went off of Slava Voinov's skate. And the rebound ended up going into the net. And this has not been the power play that the Kings have hoped for.
No.
Well, here's Brian Boyle right off the bat. Boom. What a great that was a great A opportunity. And then look at Hagelin. He just out skates Voinov to the puck, and then right there.
The way New York was even playing, it didn't even look like they had a penalty.
Yeah, exactly. That's just so unfortunate for the LA Kings, and all of a sudden, it is 2-0 New York.
We should have brought up the NHL drinking game.
Yeah, we should have. I don't know what the
What?
I can't remember what the New York Rangers one is.
Let's see.
Go to. Yeah.
Drink every time King Henrik or King Hank is mentioned.
Okay. We've
And
been mentioning him quite a bit.
send Hanny
Ash with a
an
chance.
FU Snapchat
Who has the
when
power
the Kings
play?
get scored on and you tell him to drink. So
What's the Kings?
send Hanny a FU Snapchat when the Kings get scored on and tell him to drink.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
No idea who Hanny is, so
Yeah.
I will not be sending Hanny a Snapchat.
You
Sure,
probably
I'm
won't
sure
be
the guy-
sending anyone a Snapchat.
No, I'm sure the guy who is Hanny is not liking the people who made that. He's probably getting a lot of Snapchats.
Probably. Well, it depends on who has them.
That's true. So this has been a very abysmal power play for the LA Kings. They have not sustained any zone time,
They haven't gotten a
And
single shot or...
and they have given up a goal. But the worst you can do. Penalty is now over. 2-0 New York. Hagelin from Boyle and McDonough at 15:03, short-handed.
Did you hear the news that got put up on TSN this week? There was a huge, not necessarily controversy, but people are starting to razz on Sam Bennett
Oh yeah.
because he can't do a pull.
He couldn't do a pull-up. Oh, and the New York Rangers are all over the Kings.
And that's the thing. I don't think, would you think that would be a make or break for a hockey player?
Well, you would think a hockey player would be able to do a.
You'd think so, but that.
But I don't think it should be
It
something.
works on all different muscle groups, right?
Yeah.
Because I knew some big guys playing football.
Like, it depends also. Well, it doesn't depend, but like the pull-ups that I think of are maybe different than the ones they do.
Yeah.
Like the pull-ups they do, they could do I do the ones that are like this when I do pull-ups. There are ones where you extend your arms further out, and those are tougher. Or there's the ones that you go like this. You have your hands the other way.
Yeah.
Those are even tougher.
Yeah.
So depends what type of pull-up they're talking about. Although you should think that they would be able to do a pull-up. But I do agree with the fact that it's not like, oh, we're going to... It's like, I don't think any hockey player is going to go up and be like, well, how many pull-ups can this guy do? You know?
Yeah.
Like, what a great individual effort by Jeff Carter, and he just could not bury it. Kings keep it in. They want a goal before they score!
No! This is getting to be...
I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, no kidding. How much beer's left in there for you to not want to drink?
Well, Jeff Carter had a great individual effort, and it looks like Kyle Clifford's going to get credit for his first goal of the playoffs.
And I guess too, I think...
Well, here's the goal again. Look at that. Carter just drove right to the net, and Stepan couldn't get the puck out. And then let's see what happens here. Carter to Clifford, right top corner. Nobody even saw that it went in.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there in the net. The ref didn't even know it was in. Because I was waiting for him to call it a goal, but it is a goal, and it's 2-1 New York. So this is going to be a good series if it's going to be like this, back and forth all the time.
Yeah. And now, I don't know if this is true or not, but I have seemed to find that a lot of the coppery-looking beers and ales seem to be more bitter.
You're right. That's probably true. I would actually agree with that.
And it's weird, because that is a totally different IPA than Keith's.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. It doesn't taste anything like Keith's. Keith's is so good. One of my favorite beers.
Now the way New York is playing, it looks like they're on a penalty kill. But I think they need to get a line change or something.
Yeah, well, now the crowd's back in. I think that's, if you're LA, you're happy that the crowd's back in it.
Yeah.
You know, after a terrible power play and a just a bad sequence of events. Boy, look at Lundqvist. He just didn't know what to do. Look at how this puck went in. Not much room up there, and they were able to find that little space.
Yeah.
But always got to keep the pressure up. They got to keep getting bodies and pucks to the net, or else it's going to be a long night for them.
Yeah.
Because you could consider them pretty lucky on that goal.
Yeah.
And if King Hendrick's going to play the way he does, you know that it's going to be a tough amount.
And the one thing that I thought was super interesting was how they showed the ticket prices for New York over the next 3 games that they're going to play there.
Yeah.
Isn't it like $6,000 for like Game 6 per ticket?
It's like 3 or 4 grand, I think.
Like, it's unreal.
Absolutely unbelievable.
But I guess that kind of shows you your true
2-on-2,
fans.
yeah, right. Shot. Look at how deep Henrik Lundqvist is in his net. He has done that for years, and he's still been able to be one of the best in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, you see a lot of the European goalies, they last a lot longer than the States and Canadian-made goalies.
Pardon me.
No worries, ladies.
Oh, only one of them is right.
Oh. Ooh. Knock the linesman over.
1 after 1.
Yeah, okay.
Kings trail the Rangers 2-1.
Yeah, okay, Boyle, you can fight Green. Let's see who lasts. With Green with a beard, it doesn't look like the same Green we had.
Well, he's also 10 years older.
That's true.
Or 8 years older.
I keep forgetting it's been that long.
Yeah, it's been a long time. You know, with Matt Green and Jarrett Stoll, they've won a cup with the Kings, and now they're going for number 2.
Yeah. Well, the farm team for the whole NHL just had to work them in a little bit, I guess.
Yeah.
Just like to look at Torres. He made it to the playoffs again this year. Then there's Eric Brewer, who made it again this year.
Eric Brewer. Brizgalov, of course.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's a bunch more.
Yeah.
That we have to think about, but well, he was never an Oiler, but he did sign an offer sheet with the Oilers. Thomas Vanek.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think about, there's always a lot of Oilers that end up getting to the playoffs, just not the actual team.
Yeah.
But Sean Horkoff.
Yeah. And Hemsky next year.
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't even know where Hemsky's going to be.
Yeah, I
don't know if he's going to sign in Ottawa.
Yeah.
I think he might want to change of pace. I think he might want the place that's maybe a little less under the radar, or a little more under the radar, I should say. Like a Phoenix or even a Florida. As much as they might not have a fantastic team, I think he could be in for a nice change.
Yeah.
So he's not going to go to a Toronto or a New York. I think he'll go to a place that hockey isn't very good. I love the fact that Chad Johnson, who signed with the Montreal Alouettes, former NFL player, he went to a Habs game, playoff game, and he says, "Yeah, this is my first NHL game. Well, except for the Florida Panthers, but I don't count them because there was like 7,000 people to show up." And I thought that was just absolutely hilarious that an American doesn't even count a Florida Panthers game as actual hockey.
Yeah.
I found that to be hilarious, which tells you that Florida is definitely not made.
They're in for a whole...
Florida's not made.
They're in for a change. Well, because you have to think, too, they have a pretty amazing NFL team. They have college ball. Mm-hmm. They have baseball.
There's a lot of
They have the Miami Heat.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The Miami Heat have been there Everybody is just cheering the Miami Heat on in Florida right now.
And I think it would change if say, a team like LA was in Florida.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily the area that it's in, but they have enough winning teams that why would you cheer for a losing team?
Well, yeah, it's
Even though
fair
the
point.
tickets would be hella cheap,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't remember. I think there was someone talking that it's cheaper to fly to Phoenix and go to a game there than it was to go to an Oilers game.
Oh yeah.
And I think with that, you'd get like a ticket, a beer, and a hot dog for pretty much the same price, or less than for an Oilers, and you'd get a plane ride in there too.
Yeah.
That's true.
Why do they do that? Advertise Coach's Corner and then go to a bloody commercial.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts of Hockey Night in Canada,
Yeah.
and they just tempt you with it. Let's predict what is Don Cherry gonna talk about today. What controversial?
No, we gotta guess what color his suit's gonna be.
Ooh, that's
I'm gonna go with green.
pink for me.
Pink for you, okay. Fair enough.
Here they are.
But that's not your suit, Don.
Well laid, a sharp cut tie. And there's your buddy, there's your boyfriend, t-shirt, and we have this small buddy. That's square. Like, that's unbelievable. All right.
Blue.
You remember what I said the last time?
That was
Well,
closer.
yeah.
New York, there were
But
gaps in their feet.
this is one of the tamest suits I've probably seen Don wear.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely not.
Even
That's actually a
though,
pretty nice suit.
yeah, it is. Even though it's blue checkers and a diagonal striped tie.
Yeah. That is a nice tie.
Yeah.
I like
And now, is there something special happening where like blue's the color for?
No, sometimes he does that, but other
Well,
times.
Ron's also wearing a blue tie though. Or do they kind of coordinate?
Father's Day coming up.
I
In
guess
a couple
could
weekends,
be.
I guess. I don't know.
Once they put the tape on, and you'll see that the puck can't go underneath. That's almost a blue shirt. You put a glove on, no more tape, so it can't go off this. Remember that? There, you know how we had that one goal. All right, on the pitch. So Don, back on March the 29th in Los Angeles, sort of so-so to make the Stanley Cup postseason, you were clairvoyant. Go ahead. You are spellbound by LA tonight. LA, they've got that feeling going. They've got that thing going. Willie and Matt Green and Quick. They've got that feel back they had before. Sutter's doing a great job, and I just love the way they play. And, you know, folks, you got to know what you're talking about. Charm's personality, only carrying so far.
We apologize for the radio silence right now.
Yeah. We are definitely in tune to Coach's Corner.
Hero of the game the other night, first goal by Alex Martinez. All right, here's a goal from the point where someday we're going to show them all. Here it is from the point. Everybody says that he got the start. Oh, my dears. Well, what happens here now? Coming up for 8 after. Nice goal. Foley, I told you. Remember I told you he didn't touch it to give it to him? He said, yeah. And Foley, so first time. Yeah, across the eye. I said, I told you he didn't touch it. Didn't I? And he didn't. But watch Martinez.
Because Don Cherry is
Maybe on this side.
all the eyes and ears in hockey that we need.
Well, you can't play it any better than that. This is when the river is smoking. They'll get smoking again. And New York, that's pretty good. All right. You should mention your little video here about Kyle Clifford, obviously from Air. You want me to see? Yeah. I mentioned him, and you said who? Kyle Clifford. That's a couple of years ago. That. Oh, you always like this guy. This is the kind of guy you like. You know, he sees as the big guy.
Oh, and when I did this before, let's do this or this. But if you want, whenever we have a really good burp, and the first person to do this gets to make the other person drink. Do you want to do that?
Okay, we can do that.
Which probably means I'll forget and you'll make me drink.
No, I'll be the one to forget. I always forget.
There's 9 guys from Ontario, from I think the rest of the country, man, and 8 from New York. Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, I'm not going to get there. Ottawa, they're in love with your team, and Toronto. big draft, and your buddy Brian Burke says everybody from Ontario plays better against Toronto when they commit. You think you have 100% Ontario. Oh no, you got a bunch of Americans coming in.
Top of the 7th, 3-2 for Toronto.
Ooh, interesting.
That grade is the heritage section, not once. All I heard was everybody else. He was +3, led both teams the last game. He had 2 assists and led both teams with 6 assists.
John Jerry, of course, he goes about the old, why don't you have more Canadians on your team?
Because it's against the rules.
No, it isn't.
But I mean, like, don't they have to have so many imports or anything?
No. Not in the NHL.
Oh.
No, CFL.
Oh, well, I was thinking that they had to have...
Nope.
No?
No, they just have to be able to have a team.
Oh. Well, why don't we try out?
Yeah. Well,
Let's make our
no,
own,
you have to actually be able to play.
let's make our own NHL team. Kind of like the Ottawa Red Blue.
Well, you know what? I've had a dream all the time where I'm playing in the NHL for a team in Wainwright.
That'd be sick.
I have that dream all the time. It is actually a dream. It is not like my dream. It's gonna be. I want to play. What NHL team do you want to play for? Wainwright.
Where the heck is that?
Town of 6,000 people. Ugh. Yeah.
So
Everybody and their dog would need season tickets
yeah,
just to get the
just
crowd.
to get the stadium half full. And 2, with the draft coming up, if everything goes well, if Ekblad is for some reason picked,
He'll
Who do
be
you think?
picked.
who do you think is going to be the Edmonton's pick then?
If I were Edmonton and Ekblad is gone, I would pick. I'm gonna say, okay, if it's Ekblad 1, Reinhardt 2, say.
Yeah.
If it's Ekblad 1, Reinhardt 2, I would pick Sam Bennett, the guy who can't do a push-up
Pull up.
or pull-up. Yeah. If he couldn't do a push-up, then no, you'd have to send him go away.
Then he can play hockey with me.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I would go with Sam Bennett. However, I do think they're going to go with that Leon Draisaitl.
Is that the German?
Yeah. And
Oh,
I'm
mixing players up.
I'm
now.
really shaky about him. I don't know too much about the draft this year because, of course, this is going to be, the 5th year that we've had to deal with, who are we going to take really high? Yeah. So I'm really sick of it. The first year it was fun, but now it's just like, whatever, I don't really care.
Yeah.
So, but you know what? I want them to take Bennett, but they're probably gonna take Draisaitl. And if he's taken, then it's probably gonna be Reinhardt in there. But he's similar to RNH.
And that's the thing.
So I don't know.
So now I think I'm getting my players mixed up. Is Draisaitl the 6'3" centerman? That's like 220.
I don't think he's 220. He could be like 208 or something.
He's pretty big for a centerman.
He's fairly big. Yeah, he's fairly big. He's the biggest out of the 3.
Yeah.
Reinhardt's the smallest, and Bennett's in the middle. And I like the guy in the middle because I think he has room to grow.
Yeah.
And also he's from, like Don Cherry says, he's from Ontario, so I think he could do a bit better than the German, not being racist or anything. But I don't know too many Germans that can really play hockey really, really well.
Yeah.
Even though he has played in North America for the past couple of years.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, if for some reason, I thought for some reason Draisaitl was Sam Bennett. Don't ask me why. But I don't think Draisaitl would be bad because he is a bigger guy and he can possibly take over that number 2 centerman spot.
Mm-hmm.
But all depends. And even though players like Hall and Nuge, they're getting better, I think it would have been good for them to put them into the minors for a year. Or even a half season.
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest thing with Clefbaum that I think's helped him grow to who he is. Because it's like basically playing pond hockey with your buddies to playing an NHL game. even though it's not to that extent, it just does change the game from when you are. Oh my god, kid! I have to stop talking about this. Have you seen the commercial, or like the trailer for the new Transformers?
Oh, I just missed it. So no, I haven't. I think I just saw it like a little bit earlier than that. But yeah.
There's a fire-breathing Tyrannosaurus Rex
Oh, wow.
that Optimus Prime rides. How bad? I think they're getting it set up for Beast Wars, honestly.
Wow.
Which would be actually so sick.
That's cool. That is really cool. Looking forward to that.
Yeah. But yeah, put Nuge or Hall into the minors for even Everly, and just let them grow, because that huge jump from wherever they were playing, even though it was maybe like with Everly playing with the Regina Pats, that's still a huge jump from the WHL to the NHL.
Yeah, no, you're right, and and he took a little bit of baby steps too. He took a few years in Regina before he was brought up,
Yeah.
and he also did play a few games with the Barons in the AHL. He played a couple games, not too many, but yeah, it is a jump. Problem is, the Oilers always need people now.
Yeah.
Police operation and manhunt underway right now. People are being asked to stay indoors in the Hildegard Drive and Ryan Road area.
Oh, wow.
There were 2 people shot. We don't have more details right now. But
What? 2 people were shot?
In Moncton. Wow.
Well, I guess they know they can't. Or it's not like he can go far because New Brunswick is an island, so unless he's gonna live out in the boonies for a few years, right? Ugh. I'm gonna be. Now let's see if these have the same numbers. 16 IBU, so this is gonna be a fairly sweet beer again. Because that was 7.
Okay,
And this
so
is
it's gonna be a lot. Yeah.
It's gonna be a complete different change from the.
It'll be a little bit sweeter.
It'll hopefully be a lot sweeter than the IPA.
And this one is a 15. So there is hope yet, ladies and gentlemen, for some better tasting beer.
Yeah.
This evening.
Except this is unfiltered, naturally cloudy.
Okay.
And
so what does that mean? Well, should we? I'm done with that one. So we should get to this one. You do that.
So this is the Belgian White Ale, 5%, 16 IBUs. So as we just found out, the IBU is the International Bittering Units, and the higher the number, the more bitter it will be. And this is an unfiltered wheat ale, which is naturally cloudy, with its slight hint of orange and coriander, which is remarkably refreshing. And this is also from Monroe, Wisconsin, from the Rhinelander Brewing Company, and nothing else on it. So,
well, I think anything will be sweeter than what we just had, even though it wasn't a bad beer.
No, but I think it's also going to be weird with the orange and coriander, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I know, this is Rickard's White is a beer that I like to have when it's really, really hot, but I only want to have one of them.
Yeah.
You know. So what is it? It's a pretty blonde, eh?
Yeah.
Very, 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 very light. You know.
Yeah, compared to that last copper.
Yeah. And this smells very weird.
Well, from here, I don't smell anything.
Yeah, you don't smell too much. Smell this though. It smells weird. I don't know what the.
I think my nose is broken.
It's weird.
It's weird. I don't smell anything.
Well, anyways, before the second period gets underway here,
we will cheers and hopefully have some good reviews. A lot better.
It is interesting. almost like a vanilla, or like a, I don't know what you call it. Maybe not vanilla.
Maybe a coriander taste?
Yeah, I don't know.
Ugh.
Do you have supper?
I did. Did you?
Nope.
Are you hungry?
A little bit, but I'll wait till the maybe second mission. I'll be fine.
Well, if anything, we have liquid. You have a liquid supper.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. It's probably the coriander then. I don't know. I'm very indifferent about this one.
Yeah.
It's not great, but it is not. I can't really say that there's a bad thing like that's really hindering me from liking it. I think it's just
Yeah. I think it has a very small bitter, or just a weird flavor.
yeah. Right at the end of it, you're right. It's
Oh, what are you doing October 3rd, 4th?
maybe combining. Why?
Wanna go to Oktoberfest in Edmonton?
Interesting. Maybe.
Because depending, we could do, like,
We might be combining. We might. I don't know. We might not be.
yeah, we can, well, if anything, I think it's like a one-day thing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to go both days.
Yeah.
This is not how this game's turning out how I thought it would be.
No, the Rangers have had a good. They had a very decent. Excuse me, a very decent 15 minutes to start the game, and then LA kind of came on a bit at the end. My burps are becoming more frequent now.
Oh, that's good. You have to hold them in so you get the... so you can roost me.
Yeah. So what's the deal if we both burp at the same time?
No. Whoever burps, if it's a good, like, if it's a nice... if we can classify it as a good burp, whoever does this first
Right.
gets to make the
I
other
get it.
person drink.
I get it.
What he's done in this playoff really emerged as a threat scoring. You can see McDonough had all he could handle with the big body and a nice job of Toffoli keeping his right move.
Really changed it too, but you have three players that you can add that play as much as Toffoli, Pearson, and Jake Muzzin.
Toffoli 15 goals in 18 games in the American League.
It's weird, the more I drink,
Already 7
the less I taste of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're kind of right. Like this is like the thing I'm drinking, so I'm drinking more of it, and it's getting better.
Yeah, I think your mouth just kind of gets used to it. Especially, like, there's been such a huge change in these last 3 beers we've had.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We went from pretty sweet to very bitter, back to something that's a lot more sweeter.
And even though it's still a citrus flavor, it's a completely different citrus.
Yeah.
Instead of being oh, that could have been a trip.
Could have been a trip. Good. I think it was a good non-call though.
But regardless,
It's playing the
yeah, true. But regardless, a penalty's a penalty.
Yeah, I don't think that was a penalty though. I have to see it again.
Like, I know Bellinger will probably say something about it, but like
Oh, big hit.
wow.
Strawman on, I believe that was Kyle Clifford.
Yeah.
He's been all over the place this game.
But like, there's some things that I don't like how people, or like how refs just put their whistles away for playoff hockey. Yes, it's good to see the play move,
Yeah,
but regardless, a penalty is a penalty.
true enough. But I don't think that. I honestly don't think that was a penalty.
No. Well,
I-
I'd have to look at it to see if it'll change my mind. But like, there's times where like just a blatant trip is not called, or a holding or hook, just because it is playoff hockey, and you want to let them play and like let them gauge each other out a little bit. But you also don't want to let the game get out of hand, because like if they're like, oh well, I can get away with this, maybe I can get away with that, and then it's just basically a huge fight back and forth about what they can get away with.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to feel good for Dominic Moore. Took all of last season off to be with his wife, who was fighting cancer. She passed away and now he's back and he's in the Stanley Cup final. And he scored the game-winning goal in Game 6 to get the Rangers to the Stanley Cup. 2-on-1 here, shot, and Lewis absolutely missed the net by a mile. Whoever his line mate was should have been getting the pass.
Yeah.
Lewis doesn't score goals.
Who is this Lewis you speak of?
Trevor Lewis, I guess. I don't know. He's a fourth line guy, more or less. And here he is. And Marion Gaborik was his other one. That would have been a good one. Here's that hit. Boom.
That was a nice, good, solid
Very nice,
hit.
solid body check.
And the thing I love, well, not necessarily love, but with this hockey, they're like, oh, it's a hit. We'll actually let it happen because what are we going to do? We don't want to get kicked out in the playoffs, right? But if it was a regular season game, nobody knows how to take a hit.
Yeah.
And
Muzzin with a shot, save, rebound. Oh.
And when they do that, it's a nice, great
There's
big
a penalty
hit.
coming up now to LA.
And they just overreact. And
Yeah.
they think, oh my goodness, my player's going to get hurt. When it's a clean body check, there's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Muzzin
Muzzin's
too.
gonna go back to the box.
Back to the sin bin.
Muzzin came in, got a good scoring chance. The puck was turned over, and he was forced to take the penalty. Almost scored. Now he's in the box.
Yeah. Oh, total interference. Oh, pretty much tackled him.
Yeah.
What a great little wait time there, though, by Muzzin. Right?
Didn't get the shot where he needed to.
Actually,
Oof.
Lundqvist should have covered that a bit better. Here's the Rangers again. Shot, rebound. How did that not go in?
No kidding.
Zuccarello had a wide open net and missed.
Really? That could have been
no
a goal.
penalty called, I guess.
See, and that's for something
Already
like
down
that.
one.
A penalty is a penalty, but you don't want to have that penalty make or break the game.
Some referees are better at calling those than others.
And I guess too, sometimes the referees that do call those, they may not, see a whole lot of playoff hockey.
What a pass by Zuccarello to Brad Richards, and he couldn't convert. They keep it in. McDonough keeps it in.
What did you say was interesting before?
Oh, the Rangers have the most power play time out of any team in the playoffs.
Huh.
Now, you got to remember, they're in the Stanley Cup Finals, so there's probably only 4 teams that actually have a chance at getting that number of, that amount of ice time.
Very true.
And that was an awful giveaway, and so was that. So this has been a game that's been going all back and forth all over the place.
I wouldn't classify that as a good burp.
Stanley plays a little pitch here with Eric Stepan. Diaz is at the left point. Stanley with Kreider.
And for one beer review I'd like to redo, because it ended up being on...
Oh, I don't
I
know.
thought
That was
Quick had that.
I thought that was a great save by Quick, but I think it just missed the net. But he did fan on the shot. Which was the beer review?
Oh,
did you do?
apparently my sister got some beer at a local grocery store where it comes in like a 2-liter bottle. And like it's like
At a grocery store?
Yeah, at Co-op. It's like you drop in like a yeast capsule, like let it sit for 3 weeks.
Oh, I've heard about those.
And the one I had, it was actually really good.
Oh.
And that's weird. It said like that beer says it was supposed to be like have a cloudy look because it's unfiltered, but I don't
Yeah.
find it.
It's not very cloudy, is it?
I didn't think so.
Oh, it's a little cloudy, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Okay. It's pretty cloudy.
But like I was almost I was expecting like completely dark foggy. Like
Yeah.
it went from transparent to translucent,
Mm-hmm.
and I was expecting opaque.
Yeah, I know you're right. I'll give that a 2.5 because I just don't know what to feel about that.
Yeah.
2.5 out of 5.
Or so are you done that one? Do you think?
No, I'll drink this a bit more. Except I'm going to sneak to the bathroom real quick.
Alrighty then.
Be sure to entertain.
Oh, I am the entertainment for tonight. Deedly-lee, deedly-lee, deedly-lee-lee. So yeah, it's actually been interesting. Over the last year and a bit, I've been doing a lot of beer reviews. Quite a few with my buddy here. But a lot also just on my own. And this weekend I am going to the Craft Beer Festival up in the Edmonton here. And I'm actually looking forward to it a lot. And I will for sure do a video. It may not be right after, but I will do a video with the beers that I had and what I rated them. I all depends. I don't know what they'll have. If they'll have something like the Lazy Mutt, or if it'll be more small town uh, beer and stuff. And like I'm assuming the one brewery by our place will be there. And yeah, they showed this goal. He shot like it was like a chip that went over the net.
Oh, okay.
And Quick thought it was gonna be more solid of a shot.
Yeah, for sure. I thought that was good.
Oh, did you see that one pitch in that Japanese
Yeah,
baseball
I did. I
game?
saw that today. That was hilarious. What I loved is the umpire's reaction, because he was just kind of like, ball? And it ended up getting called a ball, and I'm like, how is that a ball? Like it was right down the middle of the plate. Eventually, oh, Dowdy with a nice move. Scores! What a goal! Drew Dowdy has arrived, folks. Wow. You gotta see this goal again.
I have to see it in the first place. I was too busy talking about that
Unbelievable.
pitch in the Japanese baseball game.
Well, they probably heard the crowd cheer from Japan. Look at this goal.
Why did that?
Look at this. Justin Williams with a great pass. And here's Doughty.
Oof.
Between the legs. Boom.
He has
Cheesy.
he has unreal hands for being a big guy.
Well, there's a reason Doughty is arguably the best defenseman in the NHL.
Yeah.
Absolutely unbelievable. And this is a brand new hockey. 2-2 with 15 remaining in the second period. And Dustin Brown's a little worse for wear now after Brassard took a run at him, I guess.
I like.
Oh, not a good penalty right in front of the referee.
Is it interference or boarding? Or it could technically be a hit to the head.
I'm gonna say it'll be boarding, but
Yeah.
could be interference as well.
It could be interference, hit to the head.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna call it a hit to the head because
He's still in the game.
yeah. Well, no, because it was so close to the boards,
That's true.
and since he's staying in the game, it's not a hit to the head.
But isn't a hit to the
Or
head?
no, you can give a hit to the head for 2 minutes.
Yeah, it'd be a 2 and a 10.
I don't know, maybe.
I think it's a 2 and a 10 for a hit to the head. If it's just a minor.
Dustin Brown doesn't look very good on the bench, but he's gonna stay on the bench.
He got interference.
I would have called it boarding, but
Well, I think
I would have called it boarding just because of the way he went into the boards. But
and I think it may have been boarding.
so here's power play for the Kings, and just like the first one, they're very discombobulated in the offensive zone.
But I think what would have made it boarding is if Dustin Brown would have been
First,
slower to get up, or
he did take a long time to get up though. Like
but he's still skated himself off. Like I mean, like if the trainers actually had to come and like. They actually sat
Maybe
there
I think
for...
the thing that really made it look like interference was the referee was right there and he saw the puck go by, and then the guy hit him. So that probably told him, the puck's not there, so that's interference.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened.
Yeah.
I know the NHL that a lot of analysts have been really critical of the officiating in the playoffs, and you know what? They do the best they can. As much as they don't call as much as they may not call everything, they can't call everything. You know, they're gonna get some stuff wrong, and sometimes it'll stick out more because you overanalyze everything. You know.
Yeah.
So when people say if this has been the worst officiating I've ever seen, it's because you have replay,
You have instant
video
replay.
replay to see all the bad calls they made. You know, back in the day, everything was really good because nobody saw the replay. Everybody only saw it once.
Yeah, exactly.
So to me, I don't think you can really go based off of, those were really bad calls because,
And I think
Voynov couldn't get the shot away, and great opportunity on this power play.
And I think what also kind of bugs me too is that some of these analysts for TSN or something like that, or not necessarily TSN, but just anywhere, who make themselves to be such a strong hockey person.
Yeah.
You ask them if they've ever played a hockey game, they'll say no. So, yes, you can go out and watch a hockey game and critique everything that's going on, but you have absolutely no idea what's going on until you've at least played a game or at least officiated a game.
You don't get the same sense of you don't get the same sense of what the game actually means until you've actually either played it or been on the ice. Or, like for me, I've never played hockey, so it's different for me watching it than if it's someone who actually knows.
Yeah, but I think
it's just like any sport.
Yeah, and I think you have a better, not necessarily a better head on your shoulders, but you kind of understand what's going on because of soccer.
Well, I'm not saying soccer and hockey are the same thing.
No, but
I'm going to get in trouble with a lot of people.
No, I know, but I mean, from playing and officiating, you can see how sometimes it's easier to miss things officiating.
Yeah. Well,
you could blatantly see it from the bench.
Yes,
but
and I understand the game inside the game, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I should have holded that in a bit longer because I had a really good one. Well, here's a breakaway for Lewis, and he could not get a good shot away as he was tied up very nicely there by Kevin Klein.
Lewis just about had another one, or just about had a. Well, that's the second chance of the game.
Second chance.
That sounded foamy.
It was very foamy.
I'm not surprised Stahl is still around, but I'm kind of surprised Stahl is still around.
Stahl?
Yeah.
Stahl, like Mark Stahl or Jarrett Stahl?
Stahl, like from the New York Rangers, because he's been around for quite a while.
Well, he's been hurt a lot.
That's true too, but you'd think that would almost shorten someone's career, not lengthen it.
Well, fun fact, he's the only Stahl brother in the NHL currently that doesn't have a Stanley Cup.
Really?
Yeah. Well, because Eric Stahl won it with Carolina in 06.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Jordan Stahl won it with Pittsburgh in 2009.
Huh, interesting.
And then they have one more brother, Jared Stahl, in the Carolina Hurricanes organization, I think, still. But he is probably not going to be a big impact player. Eric Stahl was the best of them all. And then Jordan Stahl is the most complete.
Oh!
And Mark Stahl's the defenseman, so he has a bit of an advantage there. But Rangers are starting to come alive again as the puck goes into the crowd. 9:03 to go. Yeah, that's good.
It's weird.
Yeah, there's Trevor Lewis.
I can kind of, not necessarily feel it, but I'm kind of starting to feel like we did by the time we had our first meal at
Mm.
the beer fest. Like, you can kind of feel it, but it's not like...
Well, and like we're
It's-
sitting down, so
yeah.
it's different now.
Well,
you know?
you did stand up, too, so...
Well, yeah, that's true.
Did it hit you like a ton of bricks?
Not too bad. Nope, not too bad. So far, so good. Once you finish that, we'll have the fourth, whatever one we're having. Forget. I might as well just say it what it is right now.
Yeah.
So it's the seasonal lazy mutt, and it's okay. You have to tell me what it's.
It's Hefeweizen.
A Hefeweizen, right? Because the W is a V.
Yeah.
So it's a Hefeweizen, a South German Bavarian style unfiltered wheat beer. You'll see the cloudy suspended yeast and taste a variety of fruit and spice in this flavorful beer. Interesting. It is 5%, and of course, here are the numbers now.
Okay.
Color is a 6.
So it'll be fairly light.
Mm-hmm. IBU is a 15, so it's not too bitter.
Yeah.
Not as bitter as the second one we tried, the IBA, but not as sweet as the lemonade one.
The shandy.
Yep. RDF is, what was it, fermentation, right?
Yeah.
This one is a 67.9, which I believe is similar to what the shandy was.
Those are the shandies.
62.3, so it's a little bit more. So a little bit more enzymes in there, from what I remember.
Yeah.
And what's OG?
I don't think we ever... I forgot to look at OG.
Okay. Well, the OG is a 12.5. Compared to this one, is very similar. It's a 12 for this one. I'm assuming that's very similar. It could be really bad, but that's all that's on this. Of course, Monroe.
You said OG?
OG, yep. Monroe, Wisconsin, like I said, from the Rylander Brewing Company, like the 3 of the other ones were.
Okay, so
Or 2 of the other ones were.
OG is Original Gravity.
Okay.
It is measured of the fermentable and unfermentable substances in the wort before fermentation. OG gives the brewer an idea of the potential alcoholic strength of the final product. After fermentation, the original gravity is mathematically compared to FG, which is the final gravity. The exact alcohol strength can be determined.
Okay.
Okay, so if the original gravity was 1.054 and the FG was 1.015, the alcohol content would be 5.3% by volume.
Okay. Okay, well, this one's a 12.5. So, I don't really know.
But
It would be nice to, like, actually,
yeah,
if you know, like, if it would be like a Budweiser, like lime, different things.
I was just beer scale that they're kind of showing, like with the
Okay.
original gravities and the colors and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
First 10 games for Ryan the last 11, he's had 14.
Wow. Getting it done.
Okay.
Oh, now I want McDonald's so bad.
We always go.
Good.
Or
Do you just have like munchies here or something?
we have some Doritos.
That'll work.
Or popcorn.
Doritos would be fine.
Okay.
You know Doritos are really good kindling?
Really? I guess they're a little oily.
AC, I don't know if it's or not.
Alrighty.
But,
If
yeah,
you wanna
so here, I'll
fill me
fill
up.
this up. I know, I saw it on one of those things where it's like life cheats.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, apparently Doritos make it. And then they showed like a picture of Doritos, like burning.
Interesting.
So, bring Doritos camping. Always.
But yeah, I want to eat them. I don't want to burn
Right.
them.
Or you bring a snack pack and then
Now,
is it that to me is not as cloudy as the other one. 'Cause
Yeah.
it said this one was cloudy.
unless maybe the further down we get, the cloudier it'll be.
Maybe.
Like I don't know for something like that. Should you like just tip it upside down and back just to mix the cloudiness up?
True, very
or
true. Well, this kept cold, so.
but still, if it's just sitting in a fridge, things will settle.
I think it'll be okay. I don't see too many things rolling around in there, so.
It's got a fairly sweet smell.
Not a bad smell, right? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it does say it has a variety of fruit and spice in it. I hope more fruit than spice, because I don't like spicy beer. Because when I think of spice, I think of that pizza beer. Try it.
Oh yeah.
Oh. All right, well, cheers.
That's not bad.
Pretty good, eh?
Yeah.
I like it. I do like it. It seems like a very fresh beer. It just a lot of like that fruit is really prominent. And
that's not even good. Also, it's only good if you can like tell it comes from the belly. Ooh, foamy.
No, I do like it. I like the fruit in it.
Yeah.
I like the fruity taste.
Like it's not a strong fruit either.
No,
so
it
I was
isn't.
gonna
It's
say we
just
should try and figure out like just by taste what kind of fruit's in it, but I don't think I could. Well, I guess let's cheers because I haven't done mine
no,
yet.
it's okay. It's fine. Oh. Yep. I think camera would say I got it first.
Dang it. But no, I was saying when you went to the bathroom there that over the last year and a bit we've actually done quite a few beers, and I don't have my book out here, but I had to start a second column on a regular lined piece of paper. Like I've done, even though like a lot of them are like your classic like Buds or.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, we still haven't done some of the classic ones too.
Yeah.
Like there's some classic ones we should even try, just to stay more down here. We've been kind of going everywhere up here with the, not that these are like really obscure ones.
But like, and that's the thing. I love trying these.
We'll both go. That's pretty close. I always go to video review.
I know.
I don't know what happened. That one was pretty close.
I heard it. That was actually really good.
It's all the fruits and spices.
Yeah. But yeah, like I don't mind. Like I love trying these obscure beers because like, unless you get them in like a 12-pack, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
And like, really, a single bottle of 600 milliliters to split between two people, that's not a lot at all. That's literally a can between each of us. Right?
Yeah, you're right.
No.
More foam.
Yeah.
What if we go to overtime?
Oh, I still have more beer.
Still have more beer, so it's all right.
We have 9 beer to try. So we could do...
Yeah.
We could do basically 2.5 overtime periods if we wanted to.
Pretty much.
I hope it doesn't come to that.
That one was forced.
Yeah, I was just, you're grasping at straws on that one. Is there anything else you'd want for snacks?
I'm actually looking forward to Doritos now.
Nice. Cool Ranch okay with you? Nice. I'll set that here. I will go up and grab those and just wash them.
Okay, I will pour. Actually, here, hold on. You want to get all 4 of them. Yep. There you go.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that one's getting a 4.
Yeah, I'd say that's really.
That is a very nice beer. Very fruity, or not very fruity, but just very overall very smooth, and the fruit is a nice change, not a regular beer sort of thing. So I do like it, and too bad he's not here. But boy, still 2-2 with about less than 5 to go, I believe, in the second period. Yeah, 4:50 left, so I was pretty close. It seems like it's been going pretty back and forth. Kings have been really strong in some cases, but Rangers have had a couple good opportunities, but Quick has shut the door in the second period here. But Drew Doughty is such a beast, He has been a fantastic defenseman for the LA Kings this season, and for how long they've had him. Yeah, like I said, with LA and New York both getting Matt Green had a nasty cut just to the left, just right around his eye, right about here. Gabbard with a shot, and a nice save by Lundqvist. Marian Gabbard, if he gets a couple goals in this series, I'm putting my vote in for him to be Conn Smythe Trophy winner, Yeah, he's not your prototypical winner, but you know what? He's scored a lot of goals for the Kings, and he's only trailing Wayne Gretzky now for the most goals in a playoff season. So who knows what's in store for them. For those of you who want to know the Jays game, it is currently 6-2 for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 8th inning. So in 2 more innings to go, and they will have another victory that will be their 4th in a row, and it will be their 13th win in their last 15 games. Jays are up 6-2 in the bottom of the 8th.
Ooh. If you want, there's just a little bit on each.
Okay.
I'd have to go after
But Kings, of course, won the Stanley Cup back in 2012. Defeated the New Jersey Devils just before the lockout. Very boring hockey, I found. That was one of the worst Stanley Cup finals I've ever seen. It was not exciting. 2-1 hockey, not exciting at all. The last Stanley Cup for the New York Rangers was 1994, the year my sister was born. Of course, Mark Messier and Doritos, thank you very much. So it'll be a long time coming for the Rangers as well. For them, so this will be year 20 of a Stanley Cup drought for them. Of course, the Kings, the second California team to win the Stanley Cup. The Ducks won it in 2007. Of course, we've already mentioned Jarrett Stoll and Matt Green playing tonight are 2 former Oilers. Colin Fraser is also still on the Kings, but he's not playing tonight. But like it says, hits are 35-19 now in the second period. Late in the second period, and you can definitely see how the West is tougher than the East, just because of the big guys and the big bodies, and you know. You know what though? Everybody says the Kings should win this really easily, and I'm one of the people that says it. But you got to think about it. Once you get to this point, the situation is so different than what you would see in a regular season game. You know, it's not what you would expect a regular game to be. Anybody can win this series, no matter what happens. So, yeah.
I'm back.
Good, now I can have some nice.
Well, you could have had them before I
had to
came.
keep the conversation going.
That's true.
You know.
So, Dad didn't really like any of them, and Mom really liked the Hefeweizen. So we still have a little bit of each, other than the Hefeweizen.
Yeah.
Which,
I'm just checking what the 6-2 is actually, like what has happened in the Blue Jays game.
yeah.
They scored. They were down 2-1 after 3. But then they scored.
I love slow-mo when people get sticks to the face.
Here's an example of one where he hits Green right in the face, and this is a nasty gun, and gets away with it. Green yelled as soon as he got hit, he wanted to call there. Now he still wants to call, and he's not going to get it. But it'd be interesting to see if Green
Oh man. Okay, sorry. So they were down 2-1 at the end of 3, but then they scored 2 and 6 and 3 in the top of the 8th.
Wow.
Brett Cecil is in now to pitch. Cabrera is 3 for 4 with a home run, 2 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. Batista is 2 for 3 with 2 runs scored. Lind is 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs.
How's Carson on?
He's only 1 for 3 tonight. Hasn't done anything much else.
What was the one? Home run?
No, it
Damn.
wasn't a home run.
Broke the record, or broke the streak.
Well, I don't think he's. No, he didn't homer. Oh, no,
He homered last game.
No, he didn't. No, Lori did. No, he didn't homer last. No, he broke the streak a while ago, but he's still doing really well.
Yeah.
Tollison came in and is 0 for 1, but he has an RBI, so I'm guessing it was a ground out. Lori's 1 for 4, and everybody else has been 0 for. Oh, Reyes is 1 for 4 with a run score. So it's been that top of the order, you know. Cabrera had a nice breakout game today. He hasn't been hitting very well recently, but today he's 3 for 4, and he had a home run in the first inning. So
Nice.
fantastic. Ian Kinsler and Miguel Cabrera each have home runs, solo home runs, and everybody else has not done anything. So I guess Dickey did pretty well, 5 innings, but he's not going to get a decision in this one.
Yeah.
No, he is actually going to get a decision because they scored in the 6th, in the top of the 6th.
Nice.
So he is in line for the victory right now.
Nice.
So if they keep this up, then that's what's going to happen. New York is on a power play, by the way. We're not doing a very good job.
No,
of
I was
keeping
gonna
track of
say this is gonna be great for New York coming out in the 3rd period.
Yeah, you know what though? Power plays in after period or during like in between periods is not a very good thing.
No,
because you don't get the sustained pressure. You know, you
I
start
guess
off
that's
5-on-4. You know, it's a different entry. You know, so it's all different. But yeah, we will keep tabs on the Jays game as well. But
yeah.
very nice to see the Jays are winning again, like we said.
If you had to have one flavor of a Doritos, what would it be?
Oh, there's so many good ones.
But only one.
I would probably have to say Sweet Chili Heat.
Everybody says Sweet Chili Heat.
I like Sweet Chili Heat. The other one I do really like that's a little bit different. Well, not different, but it's something that doesn't really get a lot of accolades. Is I think it's the Zesty Nacho or something like that.
Yeah.
That one's very good.
The red
very
or the
nice kick. Very
the
nice
red
kick.
or the orange?
Yeah, the orange.
Okay.
The orange is the one. The red is the normal one.
Yeah.
And then there's the Cool Ranch. There's a Sweet Chili Heat.
No,
What
that's
is this?
Ciroc. Never mind. That's vodka.
what other ones are there? There's the jalapeno one.
Yeah, that's good.
I haven't had that one, I don't think.
It's got.
I remember. Do you remember when they had the cheeseburger ones?
Yes.
Man, those were good when you had a few. Oh, they tasted exactly like McDonald's cheeseburgers.
100% tasted like you could taste the pickles.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like they were so
Like
good
down to the
when,
detail.
Yeah, they were so good when you were, like I had them. The first time I had them was when I was having a few. And I tasted them, and just like these taste exactly like cheeseburgers. Like not a word of a lie.
Now, to take us a little bit off topic, do you want the last little bit of the shandy or the Belgian white? And then we'll both finish off the IPA.
Okay. Sorry, what's left?
The shandy and the Belgian white.
Oh, okay.
And then we'll both split whatever's left of the IPA.
Okay. Well, I'll have the shandy.
Okay.
There's not much left of that one, anyways. Yeah.
Alternative that brings new solutions, new ideas, and a new way of doing politics. While the conservatives focus on him, Justin Trudeau is focused on you.
Belgian white tastes better after a Dorito.
That one, the aftertaste of that one, it almost tasted like, I don't know what it tasted like. It was like a super sugary, it was almost like some dessert of some sort. Almost like a cinnamon something, like a cinnamon bun. That's what it tasted like.
That's weird. Now that you said that, the Hefeweizen tastes like that too.
The cinnamon bun. Who knew? Cool Ranch is the one thing. Turns everything into cinnamon.
How?
I have no idea.
After 40, what did we get to hear Kevin Rudy and
Kelly
Elliot Friedman complain about this time? Well, we all...
referees about high sticks.
Yeah. And I think PJ Stockel stayed fairly quiet this time. And Ron McLean's just like the mediator.
Like you do.
Yeah. Kind of fuels the fire a little bit.
Okay, updating the Jays, not much to update, but Cecil is out after 2/3 of an inning and striking out one. No walks, no hits, so McGowan is in as of right now. So still in the bottom of the 8th, and the Jays are still up 6.
Why do you only pitch 2/3 of an inning?
Probably lefty righty matchups.
Oh, I guess, yeah.
And is officially moving to the top of the 9th. Well, the Jays need another 3 outs, and they are 36-24.
Wow.
12 games above 500.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Ooh, that bottled. Oh, that.
Yeah.
Play of the game. For both.
Nobody even in sight of him.
No. And you'd think that that's a fairly routine stop for a goalie.
Yeah.
Shot from the high slot. Actually, that Doughty goal was probably my favorite goal of the game.
Oh, for sure.
Bill would probably love the first intermission, Darylson. Because he could walk in there and say, oh, you guys all reading your press clippings? Everybody thinks you're going to kill the Rangers in the series. You've got 3 game sets. You just knocked off the Blackhawks. Don't we all that sounds so good? Well, we're losing. And we're playing terribly. It's time to wake up and realize there's another team in the series.
I know. I'm not bad talking Wolverine coach. What's Dallas Aikens? But
Yeah.
I'm wondering if Sutter could do something for Edmonton. I don't know what, but like, would he?
Probably could.
Because whenever he started with LA, there was no hope in hell that they'd make playoffs that year. Didn't they make it to the?
They had amazing goaltending. Like the year that they hired him, they ended up winning the cup.
Yeah.
But they had amazing goaltending. Quick was doing absolutely unbelievable. They just couldn't score.
Yeah.
Like they had Kopitar and all
They
these
still
other
had
guys.
Doughty still.
Still had Doughty, still had Kopitar, still had Williams, still had Brown. Brown was doing awful. Brown was going to get traded. But they kept him. They kept everybody, and they ended up finishing 8th, and they won the cup.
Yeah. And I think a coach like Sutter could help, even though he's older and he's even though I'm not saying some of these other coaches aren't, but I think Sutter has kind of seen his way through hockey, where some of these coaches like Craig McTavish or Kevin Lowe, you stick to one hockey organization, and you go back, and all they think about is their heydays back in the 80s. And they think that, oh, well, if we start looking for players that have skills like Wayne Gretzky or Mark Messier or this person, they're going to start getting that team that they had back in the 80s, and they're not going to get that.
Yeah.
Because you don't have Wayne Gretzky, you don't have Kevin Lowe, you don't have Craig McTavish, all on that team. As much as they'd like to try and get that 80s team back, yes, it'd be nice to win 4 cups in 5 years or whatever the heck it was.
Yeah.
But you can't.
And the thing is, I remember there was a write-up not too long ago about how this was probably 2 years ago when they still had these Clefbaum, Musil, Gernat, Simpson. Fair enough.
That rattled the nostrils a little.
Rattled my nostrils. Yeah, back then it was when they had all those guys in the WHL and stuff, and there was one guy who's like, they should just put them all up now because that's what they did in the 80s and it worked. Yeah, okay. They had. Let me put it this way. They had the greatest hockey player of all time in the prime of his career playing for him.
Yeah.
So the thing was, they won games 11-8 or 12-6. They gave up still 6 or 4 or 7 a night. Their defense made a lot of mistakes. The great thing was,
you had the great one.
And not only could he fix the mistakes or make more good things happen, but if Kevin Lowe made a mistake on defense, McTavish would give him the puck then his next shift and he would score a goal. He'd pick him back up again.
Yeah.
And their confidence would just keep going off of that, and that's a huge thing for a player. The Oilers don't have anybody like that. The way they play right now, they couldn't get the great one a pass, they couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
So it was a very interesting read, but very wrong because no, I don't want 4 rookies right up right now saying, okay, this is going to be our team pretty soon,
Yeah.
No, thank you.
And with that too, I was going to say something, and then Martin Short made me forget. It had to do with that, where I remember. The only time you're gonna have that, what they had back in the 80s, was if you had 2005 Edmonton Oilers, where they actually made it to the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm.
They made it from far beyond where they thought they would. That was when they had George Laraque.
It's okay. Everybody, relax.
It landed
okay.
whole side up. But yeah, they had George Laraque, and he ended up making it to the Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Even though George Laraque wasn't a bad player, he was good for what he did, but he didn't have much use.
Yeah.
And if you can get a guy like that to the Stanley Cups, who would you compare George Laraque to to on either LA or New York.
A better Dan Carcillo. Better.
Yeah, better. But like, really, there isn't really any other player other than Dan Carcillo. Kind of maybe.
Probably.
So like, to get a player like that, and like, it's great too seeing New York go.
So I remember, I always loved watching Georgia Walker play because, no, he wouldn't score very much. But man, it seemed like every time he was on the ice, he would just drag two guys on his back the entire time. You know?
He didn't do a whole lot, but when he did, he worked his ass off 110% on that ice.
Yeah.
Like, he knew he wasn't necessarily the best goal scorer or the best defensive forward, but he still made it work.
Well, let's see sorry to interrupt you, but let's see what the Moncton thing is going on.
From Moncton, New Brunswick tonight. There's a sweeping police manhunt underway at this hour. The RCMP says 3 officers have been shot and killed. 2 additional officers have been admitted to hospital with injuries that are not life-threatening.
Wow.
The police says they're searching for 24-year-old Justin Bourque. He's considered armed and dangerous, and they're warning people in northern New York.
Well, if he's dressed like that, it looks like he's used to the outdoors and he knows his tracking and he can hide pretty well. So yeah, if you're just tuning in, or just kind of flipping through, because it's going to be a super long video, there were just 3 police officers shot and 2 injured in New Brunswick, Canada, in the Moncton area, and they are on a manhunt.
Yeah, it's that's a scary situation when your officers are killed and kind of shot like that.
And he had, from the picture they showed, he had at least 2 rifles, and it didn't even look like it was like a typical like semi-automatic like 30-06 or something like that. Come on, it looked like an AK.
Yeah.
Like,
you know, you really wonder about people like that. You just don't know what their life story was, you know?
Yeah.
Like
where
do they have the idea of that, you know?
Yeah. And like that's the big question, like what made that person snap right then? Because I can't remember if it was Edmonton or Calgary or BC, but there were these 2 girls that after they had a sleepover, they lured this other girl that was supposed to be their best friend into the woods, and then the one pinned her down, and the other stabbed her 17 or 19 times. She didn't die, thankfully. But like, I don't know if you ever heard of Slender Man. It's this scary, like it's actually a pretty creepy computer game. Like you can just play online, and like apparently like there's this whole like, I don't know if it's if it's satanic or what, but like it's so weird, and like there's like lore about this Slender Man, and like, and the one chick said, it's weird that I didn't feel remorse for what we did, or something like that. Like that takes it to a whole nother level. Like she felt no remorse for pinning the girl down or stabbing her 17 to 19 times. Like I can't comprehend that.
The human mind is really scary. My mind is really bad for certain things. I'm really glad it's not that.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has their own problems. Some are more obvious than others, and some are more hidden than others. But you know, we're all kind of we all have our problems, and we're all the same in that sort of way. You know.
Yeah. Back to finish off the IPA, and now the next question I have for you is, bottles or cans?
I like bottles.
You like bottles?
I like bottles. I think that way, if there's any chance of, you can keep it a bit longer and it won't maybe affect the taste as much. I don't know. I find it also keeps the beers from going watery, losing their taste.
Interesting.
Yeah, I forgot how bad that was today. Ugh, after days gets worse.
I know. Ugh. Yeah. Let's see what this tastes like. Cinnamon bun.
I don't know if that's how we talk, but
Tastes worse. Yeah.
That's where it sneaks up on you.
Where you have to take these.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting ready for the third. We got to finish this off. Now, Canada or U.S. I'm going to assume that you're going to say Canada.
For beer?
Yeah.
So Canada beer is, yeah, for sure Canada.
For sure Canada. I will take a look at our goodies and see.
It took a little while before they put the second period and started to go into it, and he started to have to whack each other a little. It's like they've been playing against each other all along. A 2-goal lead for the New York Rangers evaporated as the Kings have come back to tie this game. What do we expect in the third period? I think they look for a little bit more energy, a little bit more openness that we've seen these two teams get settled into their game. And both teams have had chances off of faceoffs. They've been able to backhand rushes, and you know what these goaltenders' goals are going to be.
You're in luck. We had 2 Canadian beers. One is Blue Buck, and the other is a Chilliwack Blonde. And this is also a craft beer. I think a lot of the ones I did grab today or the other day, were craft. Other than, I think, the 2 cans and the last bottle that's left. Even though I don't know what you'd consider... Would you consider Sam Adams craft?
I think so. Maybe.
It's hard to say. 4 to 10 OC. Oh, best enjoyed at 4 to 10 degrees, so refrigerated. Oh, I guess, what one do you want to do first? Okay. So, the story of the Blonde. Our Chilliwack Blonde is a straightforward beer that is golden color, smooth, clean, crisp, and light-bodied. It's easy drinking with a hint of malt sweetness, leaving you refreshed and satisfied. This easygoing brew is a great one to share amongst friends. Enjoy a Blonde today. They have a QR code if you want to scan it. 5%. It's an ale. It's from Old Yale Brewing Company in Chilliwack, BC. And that is it. Ooh.
Rebound. Oh, what a great save.
Ooh. So it's a
Very nice pour.
very nice coloring. And it's not transparent.
Yeah, it's not like a copper.
Yeah,
It's like
but
a,
it's not cloudy.
what is it? It's a blonde. Okay, so it's a blonde.
Yeah.
It's definitely blonde.
So I'd say it's fairly low on the color scale.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say it's fairly sweet on the bitter scale.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
And
Smells pretty good. So
I'm gonna.
I take a little sip first.
I don't wanna wreck it. Cheers.
Cheers.
One of the downfalls of having a forward back on the point on the power play is at times you don't defend nearly as well as the defenseman. Richards gets beat by Kopitar, but look at the body is Donna coming back.
You know, I didn't want to say anything, but if you ever had Rickard's Blonde,
No.
it is very bad. And I just wondered if that was just maybe the blonde thing. This, I would say this is better than Rickard's Blonde. Maybe. But it's still not It's like it has a weird, just weird. It's just
Yeah.
weird everywhere.
Now is that the hops?
It might be.
Because it's not.
It could
It's
be the
not really.
hops.
I guess it's a little bittery, but
Mhm.
no, don't want to wreck it. Yeah. No.
Okay. Oh, there.
Well, tell her that I'll drink with you. Cheers.
Stays on his feet. He's keeping his stats confident. Voinov has nothing.
Ugh.
Want to go over the defender? Like to stand on his feet just for a split second longer.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one I don't know if I'd have again. It's I don't know. I don't like it really. I don't know. I think it might just be me and my not liking blonde beers.
And that's the thing, I haven't never had one, and I don't find it too bad actually. Even though I feel it as a little bit of a heavier beer.
Mm.
Like I don't feel it like a Copenhagen era.
Who's that?
Bullshit. Bullshit. Just kidding.
See, I think that one was better than the one that you.
Well, then I'll give it to you, and I'll drink. Can I just sit like this for the rest of the night? No. What? She already doesn't get penalties.
What a great play, though. Look at Gabrick go.
Yo.
And then, boom. He has a chance, and there's a penalty.
I didn't know lifting a stick was a penalty.
He didn't even lift it. He was holding it, like, back. That's definitely a penalty.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just gonna be.
Oh, it just missed the net. Jeff
Just.
Carter missing.
They should have given it to Muzzin.
Yeah.
But I think, you know what's going to be sweet about today? This marks my longest video yet to date.
Mm-hmm. It definitely has, because they were going to go over the 2 hour at least.
At least 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that doesn't count overtime.
Yeah.
And so far, the way it's panning out, it's already like they're playing overtime hockey.
Yeah.
I had to laugh. It was on. When it was, for some reason, it was on like. It may have been the Memorial Cup or something like that. But the game was at like 1-1. 15 minutes left in the third, and it was on, the game was on Sportsnet. And the Rogers announcers were already saying that it's like playing overtime hockey. But you can't say that in the third period.
Yeah.
Because it's not like you could score
And up
14 minutes and 10 seconds,
mm-hmm.
and that's the end of the game.
An update on the Blue Jays game. It is now 8-2.
Ooh.
Kratz came into the game and is 1 for 1 with a run scored. Ghost is 1 for 4 now with a run scored.
Ghost?
Ghost.
G-A-U-S?
G-O-S-E.
Oh.
I think Batista has now 2 RBIs and Lind is 3 RBIs. I think Batista brought them both home. So there you go. So now it is 8-2. We're in the bottom of the 9th, and the Jays look like they're going to go and win. Like I said, their 13th game in their last.
Did Jays have last bat?
No. Oh. But it's in the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah.
They're up by 6. So
unless something completely terrible
barring
happens.
something happens like that, then
because my dad, I don't know if it was the game he played or something, but it was like 9-1, bottom of the 9th, team came back and won the game. 10-9.
Oh yeah, it's definitely happened.
Or 10-9.
It's definitely happened when it's been really late leads that have been blown.
Yeah.
But,
No,
the Jays have been very good at getting leads and keeping them and keeping, except for that one game where they played Kansas City and they ended up they were down. They were up by 1 heading into the ninth, and Reyes got the they.
Some LA King acrobatics.
Yeah, they the Jays, they were up by 1, and they had Reyes got a ground ball right to him, and he threw it in the dirt, and Encarnacion couldn't pick it, and they ended up tying. The Royals tied the game, and they ended up losing. If it wasn't for that, they would have won 10 straight, and they would be on a 14 wins in their last 15.
Wow.
It is only 13, so they're not as good as we thought.
Yeah.
But although I shouldn't even say 13 because they're still in the bottom of the ninth, but things could change.
Yeah.
But
I feel it'd be right in here.
yeah, a little bit.
I don't know why.
One thing I noticed about Henrik Lundqvist, not only that he plays really deep, but he has a very active stick. And not just when people are right around his net. His stick is always in play.
Yeah.
He always drives away pucks with his stick. And I like that because it shows that he has a good whereabouts of where everything is and where his stick should be.
And where his players are and where everyone else
is.
is.
and how he should play, like I know, a lot of people just put the stick there and just because that's what they're supposed to do. But then when a puck comes, they'll always seem to miss it when it goes past their stick or something.
Yeah.
Because they don't understand what the stick is actually there for,
Oof.
Oh no, here's Tag going with a shot and we got blocked, but Rangers keep it in. Goes out, he gets it to the boards, and the Kings will be able to get it out.
Kings have definitely outplayed the Rangers over the last 2 periods so far.
I would say so. Especially the second. This one's a bit, yeah.
It's more equal, but still
this one's a bit more
LA.
even, I would say. But I think Lundqvist is keeping the Rangers in for a bit. Here's a shot, what a great save by Lundqvist. That was not easy.
No. He makes it look easy, but it's not.
Yeah. Willie Mitchell back in the lineup. He missed the last couple games.
New York hasn't even had a shot this period yet. It said 9 for LA and 0 for New York. I think my computer thought that we went to bed, but we didn't. You're making videos, and I don't know if this will count on this one. Looks like it is. But we are back now. It's TV timeout, and we are just taking a quick break. There was just a holding and a diving call called in the hockey game. I'm not 100% sure who got what. But so far it's still a 2-2. Just reaching the 12-minute mark of the third. We have finished 1, 2, 3, 4 beers, working on our fifth. And yeah, it's back on the same video.
All right. Oh, perfect.
So
we haven't really missed a beat.
Yeah, and for some reason it said that the microphone was muted, but it isn't so far. So
yeah, so far it's been.
I'd like to see these penalties because there was a holding and then a diving, but I didn't see who had the puck. I'm gonna assume
Looks like Rangers.
Doughty with the dive.
The face-off is in the Rangers zone.
That really makes me question who got who
which tells me that Doughty's the one that got tripped. But yeah, so Doughty gets the unsportsmanlike. So Doughty gets the diving, and Nash gets the holding or hooking or whatever that was called. So
interesting.
There you go.
To the blue line, Alec backhands the puck in, he brings Kopitar to Brown and Girardi come together. A glancing blow. McKenna, Eric Brassard.
Oh, I thought of another show we could do. Do like a TV theme challenge, where we have someone plays like a random TV theme songs, and then whoever,
I can name that tune.
I can name that tune, but whoever doesn't get it gets whipped cream in the face.
Oh, I'm probably really bad at that.
You could always try it, or like we could actually do like an actual name that tune, which I think that'd be pretty fun. You could do that with a group of people, which would actually be pretty sick. Like 5 people and on the name.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
And then if one person gets it, they get the whipped cream. Should they whip cream one person or all the people?
Yeah, you could do that.
It's actually going to be a lot of whipped cream.
I will say there has not been a huge number of absolutely spectacular scoring chances in this game.
Yeah,
it's been a fairly, kind of what you expect from LA. LA doesn't play a very risque style, so they don't take too many chances.
But what they do have,
they do play their game very, very well.
Yeah.
And the Rangers being the Rangers, this is a team that I don't think really very many people expected to be here.
No.
People expected Boston, Pittsburgh, maybe an outside chance. A team like Detroit or Tampa Bay. I don't think they expected the New York Rangers to be here at any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah. And that's the thing.
But you know what? The East is so tough to predict because everybody's kind of on the same page. Other than Boston. But in terms of the style of play that they actually play.
Yeah.
Other than Boston and Pittsburgh, really, but Boston more so because they play more like the Kings.
Yeah.
But they're just such an underrated. I don't think anybody expected them to get this far.
No.
You know, like Montreal or New York would have been a very big surprise for anybody.
Yeah.
You know, nobody would have predicted those two teams to make it.
Yeah. And especially when I was a guy who took Tampa Bay and St. Louis in the first, or for my final series.
Yeah. Well, you know, the Canadians were able to beat the Bruins, so they who knocked out my choice. My finals were done by first round because I picked Chicago. No, who did I pick? I picked Colorado and LA in the West, and I picked the Bruins and I think the Flyers. I picked the Flyers because I thought they could beat the Rangers, and I don't know why, but I thought they could. Oh, what a nice save by Quick. Nice shoulder save.